Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I thought I'd give you a building materials update because just recently we have had a fairly decent downturn in the prices of lumber futures, and it's starting to reflect inside of the cost of some of the building materials out there. And for example, OSB plywood right now, 7/16 OSB, is selling for $20, or last year at this time was selling for $20.49. Today it's at $10.99. So if you're not familiar with OSB, this is OSB right here, right? It stands for Oriented Strand Board. And basically, it's a bunch of chips that they have taken and glued them back together to make into a 4x8 sheet. And this is what they use for sheathing on the outside of your house. So, you'll got your 2x4s that you stand up for your skeleton, and then they'll nail this 7/16 OSB on there to sheet it, and then you'll go with the siding and windows and everything else that goes onto the house, right? So it's a pretty major component when it comes to building houses. Now, I don't really like following OSB as much as I like following half-inch CDX, only because OSB is a very fluctuating in price kind of material. If there's like a hurricane down south somewhere, then the price of OSB just goes flying off the charts. So what I'd like to follow a little bit closer is the half-inch CDX. And if you're not familiar with half-inch CDX, this is half-inch CDX right here. It's just a simple plywood, nothing too fancy about it. And half-inch CDX, it's a lot more stable as far as the prices goes, and you don't have these wild fluctuations. Now, to kind of give you an idea, last year at this time we were selling CDX plywood for $24.96. Today it's at $19.10. So you can see there's a huge drop in the price of CDX as well. Now, following those lumber future prices, lumber peaked out back in May of 2018 at $643 per thousand board feet, right? And now it's at 338. So there's almost like what, a 45% drop in the lumber future prices, right? And then that ends up reflecting back down to the lumber yard. Because you think about it, like if we go and deliver 100 2x4s, last year we would have made $429 off of that order. Today we make $289 off of that same order. So we work just as hard, but the profit of it is far, far less. And we're not the only ones who suffer from something like that. You got the mills, you got the truckers, you got the warehouses that store it, you got the loggers. Everybody ends up having to deal with working harder for less money that's coming in because of the commodity drop. So, and just to kind of give you an idea of where those prices went, they actually bottomed out. The lumber prices bottomed out in October at $300 per thousand. They quickly went up to the beginning of February to $441 and then have dropped back down to $338 since then. And I really honestly don't see the lumber prices ticking back up anytime soon. Lumber is a global commodity, and you got a slowdown globally taking place right now. There's not as much demand for the lumber out there. So this is gonna, even though, like I said, we're gonna be working just as hard to deliver and make and produce, we're not gonna get paid as much for it because the commodity prices are down. Anyway, a lot of people ask me a lot of times, like, how come they can't get a good 2x4 or a straight 2x4? Well, it's probably the places that you shop. And let me show you the units of 2x4s that we have right now. Look at this stuff. This is referred to as wane, right? A waned out board, or bark wane, that's what they're talking about right there. And you can see, if we look at the end of this board unit right here, there is hardly any wane on any of these boards, right? Our units look awesome all the time. Look at the straightness of this. Look at these things. They're like straight as an arrow, every one of them, right? The whole unit looks like that. And all our stuff in our yard looks this way. And this is the difference. This is why, when you go to Home Depot, you can't find the quality that you're looking for. It's because it's all sitting over there at the mom and pop place. Yeah, you're going to pay a couple of cents more per foot for it, but you're going to get a far, far superior product. All right, Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.